to the Healthy Reset. So welcome again to the Healthy Reset. And I want to touch on a topic that a lot of us women have craving for, which is sugar, and sugar as well as menopause. What is the link? What we need to know, and how does sugar affect us, or I should say too much sugar affect us, because we need some in the body, but how does too much sugar affect us and affect our hormones during menopause? And we know we love sugar, right? It's one of the hardest cravings to control. So welcome again to the Healthy Reset, and we are thankful for your support. So as we go into this topic, I want us to, listen, and it is some practical ways in which we could deal with all these sugar cravings during menopause. So have you noticed sugar cravings get worse during menopause? Or that the more sugar you eat is the worse your symptoms become? Anybody experiencing that? You can put her by the raise of a hand. So I'm Nurse Maria, a woman's menopause health nurse. I've worked with many countless women in midlife who feel trapped in this cycle of cravings, fatigue, and weight gain. I help many women make sense of these changes, as I myself is on this journey with you. So, and I also help a lot of women regain balance at this time. Now, in this video, we'll cover 3 major things. First, why sugar cravings often intensify during menopause. 2, or secondly, how sugar impacts hormones, how it impacts our weight and symptoms like hot flashes and mood swings. And thirdly, practical strategies to reduce sugar without feeling deprived. So let's make sure you stay with me until the end, because I'll share a bonus strategy that you can start today that makes a real difference with these cravings, these sugar cravings during the menopause, perimenopause, and even the postmenopause transition. So we know, in this segment here, we know sugar, some of the knowledge, we know that sugar causes cravings. Why does sugar cravings intensify during menopause? So as estrogen and progesterone decline, our body's ability to regulate blood sugar becomes more unstable. So that's why you might feel those sudden dips in energy, followed by urgent cravings for something really sweet. It's not just willpower, it is biology in action here. So on top of that, we have midlife stresses, all the stress that we have to deal with, caring for our families, managing, juggling work, going through our own personal transitions can raise cortisol. And we know that cortisol is what we call the stress hormone. Now, cortisol makes our bodies crave what we call quick sugar. You want what we call a quick fix. And sugar feels like the fastest solution during this time. Then there's another factor many of us overlook: sleep. Sleep. Then there's sleep. Many women experience a restless night or wake up multiple times during the night, or they get up to use the bathroom and we just stare at the ceiling. Yes, during menopause, this happens. Now, poor sleep triggers hormones like ghrelin, and we know ghrelin is the hormone which increases appetite, especially for sugary foods. So if you feel like sugar cravings have become stronger than ever, please know that at this point in your life, with this transition you're going through, it's not your fault. It's your hormones, your stress, the lack of sleep, the erratic sleep patterns. All of these are working together against us at this time. It's like your body is fighting us at this time in ways that drive those cravings. But here it is. Here's the good thing now. The good news is you can take control, take back control. So in the next part here, we'll be diving into exactly how sugar affects menopausal symptoms, from hot flashes to gaining weight. If you've been wondering whether that extra dessert is making things worse, you'll need to hear this. So in this segment too, how sugar impacts menopause and particularly menopausal symptoms. So let us look at weight gain and insulin resistance. So let's start with weight. Many of us women during this stage notice that our weight shifts around, and it seems to land in the mid area there, that tummy area during menopause. Sugar plays a big role here. When you eat a lot of refined sugar, your blood sugar rises and rises quickly. Now, in response, your body releases insulin to bring the sugar back down. Over time, this high sugar intake keeps insulin levels high, and excess insulin encourages fat storage, especially in the midsection. Now, this isn't just about appearance. Belly fat is linked to higher risks of diabetes, heart disease, which become even a bigger concern after menopause. And remember, we did that segment with women during menopause or after post-menopause have increased risk of heart attacks. So there is a link here. Hot flashes and inflammation. Let us look at the hot flash and inflammation. Hot flashes are another common struggle. Study shows that inflammation makes hot flashes more intense and more frequent. And guess what it is fueled by? Yes, sugar. Sugar fuels inflammation in the body. So that nightly craving for ice cream or those afternoon biscuits and cookies can directly increase the heat and the discomfort that we feel during the nighttime. Many women are surprised at how quickly cutting back on sugar reduces how powerful, how the intensity of these hot flashes. So yes, sugar affects hot flashes, it affects inflammation, it affects weight gain, and it affects how insulin resistance, how we deal with sugar. Let's look at mood swings and brain fog. Yes, sugar again, sugar. Sugar gives a quick burst of energy, but it's always followed by a crash. That roller coaster effect takes a toll on our mood and our mental clarity. Most of us, those of us who are going through this process or this transition, many times you go in a room, you go to do something, you reach in the room or you reach in that particular area and you realize, what did I come here for? And then you walk back out, that is something I do, and try to gather my thoughts together and say, okay, I came to do this or that, so it comes back. But to know the severity of it is fueled. It's important to know that sugar is the culprit here as well, too much sugar in our system. So that roller coaster effect takes a toll on us. So 1 minute you feel energized and the next minute you're irritable, you're feeling anxious, or you're feeling very exhausted. And over time, these ups and these downs create what we call brain fog. that makes it harder to focus. I don't know if any of you ladies could relate to this at this time, but I know, and I've been speaking to a lot of women coming to, at work, speaking with me, and sugar cravings have gone through the roof. So what are some of the long-term risks of increased sugar intake, not managing the amount of sugar we intake? So beyond the symptoms, sugar increases long-term risks. It drives insulin resistance. It raises our triglycerides, or fats in our system, in our blood, and it harms bone health by competing with calcium. And I want us to remember this part as well. We know that we are more prone postmenopausally to porous or weakened bones. And sugar, the extra sugar, harms the bone by competing with the calcium in the bone. Right? So it is important for us to remember that the sugar is a factor when it comes to deteriorating bone health postmenopausally. So for women in midlife, these risks matter because bone loss accelerates after menopause, and heart disease as well is high risk. It rises after menopause as well. That's why addressing these problems at this time, now, today, can protect your future self and our future health. So in this part of the segment, I want to deal with what are some of the practical strategies we can use to help reduce sugar. So let us look at food swapping. That is something I do on a regular basis. Food swapping is exchanging one type of food for another type, and in our case, one type for something healthier. Food swaps and balancing our meals. Start with small swaps. So we can start with small swaps like replacing sugary cereals with oatmeal topped with fruits. Another swap we can make, swap soda for sparkling water with lemon. And ladies, those of us who are still addicted to high sugary juices and soft drinks, it is a process. So I want to let us know that it is a process. You cannot do it today for today. You start reducing the amounts that of sugary juices or soft drink you drink in a day. And what I tell a lot of my patients, if it's accustomed drinking, let's just say 3 soft drinks or 3 cups or glasses or more juice per day. As the day go by, it's weekly, you start to reduce. This week I'll have 2, right? And one of the glasses or cups of juice or soft drink, you have that with water. Then the next week you said, all right, we'll drop to 1 cup of sugary drink per day. And then you still water it down until bit by bit, you get that, that craving for sugary drink lower and lower, because it's not an overnight thing. So you swap sugary sodas for sparkling water with lemon. Teas, sugar-free teas, that is. Choose dark chocolate, which is one of my favorite now. At first, when I started to have the dark chocolate, it tasted so bad because I was so accustomed with all that sugar in the milk chocolate. Then I gradually learned to like the dark chocolate. Now I basically crave the dark chocolate, but I still have to have a certain amount of control, with the dark chocolate as well. As with everything, I believe, you take part in it, but you don't have a whole big, dark chocolate at one eating. So that is how I try to control that craving. Right? So instead of the milk chocolate, the dark chocolate. And I've introduced that to my daughter, who seems to be in love with the white chocolate, which is, that is even higher sugar than milk chocolate. So I noticed that she is eating from the dark chocolate that I have that she said that she didn't like. So she's now having dark chocolate like me. And so that has cut a lot of her cravings for sugar, sweetened chocolate. So these are realistic changes that can reduce sugar without making you feel deprived. Next, we need to balance our meals. How do we balance our meals? In every meal, include protein, healthy fats like avocado, olive oil, and fiber, veggies, fresh salad. Every time you have a meal, every time you eat. For example, instead of a plain toast, have whole grain toast with avocado and a boiled egg. Now, this slows down digestion because our meal has now become more complex and it keeps our blood sugar from rising too fast. It keeps it steady and it prevents that desperate craving that we have later on in the day. How do we manage hidden sugars? Many women cut obvious sugar but still struggle because there are hidden sugars in a lot of the food we buy in the grocery stores. For example, they are in sauces, they are present in salad dressings, they are present in granola and granola bars, they are even present in yogurt. So therefore, reading a label, reading what you are putting into your body is a very powerful thing. Anything ending in OS, which is OSE, like fructose or sucrose, is actually sugar. So cutting down on hidden sugars can reduce our total intake more than you think. What about hydrating ourselves more and mindful eating? Now, often we confuse thirst with hunger. A simple habit that many people have is to drink a glass of water before reaching for a snack. Now, if you're still hungry after, then eat. Now, mindful eating also helps. Instead of eating in front of a TV or at your work desk, pause and find an area that is more comfortable and less tempting, like in front of a television set or in front of your laptop, watching a show or movie or something interesting, and pause and really taste what you are actually eating. Take your time. Don't gobble down on the food. Take your time and really enjoy the food that you eat. You'll find that you'll need less and feel more satisfied when you take your time and eat and you get yourself away from that area that causes that temptation, like in front of the television set. So that is important here. So this is one of the things I do. I try to eat my meals away from the TV. I mean, sometimes, most of the times I do, but there's something so interesting that I would like to see it and eat at the same time. But I try to be mindful on the snacking, especially we watching a show, a movie, and we just start to snack. One of my go-to solutions is if I'm feeling for a snack, I try to snack very healthy, and I try to have the snack after I have the meal, so that I don't go back or have that craving for a snack after. So I have my snack one time after the meal. You know, like when you go to a restaurant and we have a meal and then you have the dessert after, right? I have my meals like that now to decrease the craving to eat a snack after I've eaten my meal. So that helps as well. It helps me a lot. So that is something I want to introduce to you all as well. Have your snack after you have your meal to decrease that craving for more and more. So that is very helpful. What about stress management and hormones? Cortisol. Cortisol is what we know as the stress hormone. And guess who pushes that craving as well? Sugar. Sugar pushes that that cortisol. That's why stress management is essential if we want to manage those symptoms, if you want to manage that belly fat, if you want to manage weight loss, if you want to manage anxiety. What are some of the things that we can do to decrease stress? Walking outdoors with friends, listening to nature, getting that relaxation going as we walk. Deep breathing is something that I've adopted as well. I do a lot of deep breathing, especially with the stress that I feel sometimes with my job. It's very stressful at times. And taking a little time for yourself and doing deep breathing during the course of the day is very helpful in reducing your stress. Yoga, exercise, journaling, what I do as well, write a lot of my feelings in a journal, and that can help lower the stress levels. It also, for people who don't, speak a lot, express their feelings, that is one of the way we can write and get out those negative feelings or feel that feeling of being overwhelmed by journaling. And journaling was found to lower cortisol and help to calm many of the cravings that we feel at this time. Now, it's not about removing stress completely. It's about giving your body healthier ways to cope without turning to sugar as a solution. So let's look at sleep and appetite hormones. Sleep has another huge effect on our appetite hormones. Poor sleep increases ghrelin, which is the hormone that makes you hungrier. And poor sleep, what it does, it lowers leptin, that is the hormone which helps us to feel full. So the less sleep we have, the hungrier we feel. The less sleep we have, it lowers the leptin, which is the hormone that makes us feel full. And so it's like we're out of control if we don't get to have a good night's sleep after a while. You would find that craving for sugar would increase because we are not sleeping well as we're supposed to, getting that 7 to 8 hours sleep. So that's a recipe for sugar craving. So protecting your sleep routine is very important, ladies. Guard your sleep well. That is another point of entry for us to increase our sugar intake, which we don't want. So have a consistent bedtime routine, which I practice now religiously. I go to bed at a certain time every night, and it helps to put my body in a certain rhythm, a certain equilibrium, as I call it. So a consistent bedtime routine, keeping your bedroom nice and cool, also wear nice cool clothing during your bedtime. Limit caffeine and caffeinated drinks, which helps to regulate these hormones and makes the cravings much easier to overcome and less intense, I should say. And then let us look at real life application and encouragement. What can we do on a daily basis? We can have a day plan. So here's how this looks in a real day. For me, basically, I start my day with my breakfast with a protein, like egg or Greek yogurt and nuts and berries. So I start my day with something light instead of bread and heavy carb in the morning. That's how I start my morning now generally. And my nuts, and I want to interject here, my nuts and fruit. What I do with my nuts, I use dry fruits, and I do bake my own nuts. I do my own nuts, and so I know the type of nuts I want, like the walnuts and all those healthy nuts. I bake them for myself in the air fryer, and I make my own mix with berries and sunflower seed, pumpkin seed mix, and it is quite tasty and satisfying. At lunch, I choose a salad with my meal. So those of us who use meat, you can use your chicken, your beef, And those like me who just like use egg as a backup, you would use beans as well as a very good protein source, beans and peas. I also top my dressings with my homemade olive oil dressing and lemon instead of a sugary dressing, which gives the dressing a good twist. It tastes very good, very, very encouraging to eat. And in the afternoon, if you crave something sweet, you can have a piece of fruit with a handful of almond nuts and have some water or a nice sugar-free tea. And what you can do for dinner, dinner can be fish,
outside.
for those who like vegetables, like tofu and quinoa, right? And this is a way that you could use this method for building your meals. Quinoa, I've just introduced myself to quinoa because it was something I was always avoiding for whatever reason, because, to me, it looked like it wasn't tasty. It wouldn't have be tasty, but, after eating quinoa, dealing with quinoa, I have grown to like it, right? So this is one of the ways, what you can use here to help build your meals. And this is a way to help to keep your blood sugar stable and your cravings low. I think somebody had something to say. I was hearing some talking in the background. Anybody wanted to add anything here? Okay.
Miss Maria, good night.
Good night. Good night. Good night, Miss Eli. Good night. How are you? Nice to see you back.
Yes, I'm okay, thanks. If you back up a little, all right?
Yeah.
Nurses and people who work in the night on the
Pardon me?
red, nurses and people who work in the night,
During the night. Yes.
yeah, they at a disadvantage because if you're sleeping less, it lowers the hormone that makes you feel full. So hence the reason most of the time in the night we're feeling so hungry and we eating all night.
We eating all the bad food.
We eating all the time. Oh my, oh my, oh my.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah. So you see why many people who work in the night, not just nurses, all those night workers, a lot of doctors, nurses,
Yeah,
security officers, those night workers, and that is when you have the craving. That is when you have somebody bringing in fried food, chicken and chips.
yeah,
They bring
yeah.
in, something full of carb to tempt you, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yep. So that is what I try to do more now is to prepare my food, even at work in the day. Prepare your own food. Try to avoid buying food outside because you know what you put in your food. You know how you prepare your food, right? So I always say I opt to cook my own food and carry it or prepare my meal beforehand and carry it to work with me, along with my fruits and with me, so that I have that there as backup, and my teas, everything I carry with me. So that is a way of helping you to manage that craving for the wrong stuff. Thanks, Miss Eli. All right, encouragement. Remember, how I would like this, how we can encourage ourselves is to remember that this isn't about perfection, ladies. You don't have to give up every sweet treat. It's about being aware that what you put in your body can affect that delicate balance, particularly at this time. It's about giving you the awareness that you need to know that what you put in your body now or at that particular point could affect how much hot flashes you get, your mood, your attitude, the amount of fat you have around your tummy. All these things are so important. The lack of sleep, all these things, the stress levels. So that is why I had to touch on not just on the sugar and the other factors that are factoring in to cause that belly fat. So if you enjoy dessert, savor it and then return to your healthy habits. The more consistent you are, the more your body adjusts and feel less intense for these strong cravings at this time. So that feeling of guilt that we feel when we eat something after we started this road and we eat something that we know is not the healthiest, stop feeling so guilty and just get back on the bandwagon. That is my thought on that. Get back on the bandwagon and start, just continue where you left off. Right? So that is my that is how I deal with it generally. Any comments before we finish, ladies? You could just unmute your mic and we can speak. And Dr. Khan is here to answer any questions you have concerning your cravings, concerning any issues you have with sugar this time. The floor is open. Come on, ladies, don't be shy. Now is the time. We know that we have our struggles. Let's be honest here. I have mine. You have yours. So let us, Dr. Khan is here. Just throw the question at him. Throw the questions at him. He's willing. Any questions so far? All right.
Miss Maria, I think we have to have a particular mindset in the sense that you have to determine in your mind that you want to achieve a certain goal. All right, like if you want to lower your sugar cravings and all of that, you make sure that you eliminate things that are sugary stuff like soft drinks and if you determine in your mind that you want to do that and you want to see result later down, right? You should have a particular goal in the sense that you say like in the next 5 months or 6 months, you know, I want to achieve a particular weight, you know, and all these kind of things. You will purpose in your hearts and you will do what you set out to do, right? So that's one of the things that I do. I know I want to achieve a certain goal, a certain weight when my birthday reach, which will be on the 18th.
Happy
So
birthday. I'm still telling you happy birthday from now, just in case.
yeah, thank you. So
Enjoy.
that you know, I work towards that in the sense that, you know, I watch what I eat, I walk, you know, I make sure I drink my water. I eliminate sugars in the sense that I have my teas, my herbal teas without sugar and all of that. All through the day, I drink teas, you know, and you know, that kind of thing. So when you
So
purpose in your heart, in your mind, that you
yeah.
want to achieve a certain thing, you will work towards it. Yeah.
So can I ask you a question now? Because I know how you look before you started to
Yeah.
this road of health
Yeah.
during menopause and post-menopause. And
Mm-hmm.
how was the journey for you? Was it hard to stop the sugars? How did it affect you initially when you started? Because you know it's a
It
mental
was,
thing.
yes, I must agree it was hard because I couldn't have teas and thing without sugar. You know, and you know, I used to tell people, but that how you all could drink, you know. But when as I say, you have to have it from your mind, you know,
Yeah,
and say, look, you really want to achieve a certain goal. And then you see, aging, you know, there's a lot of things that you have to be mindful of when you are aging. Remember, you want to age gracefully,
yeah,
you know, so you will purpose in your heart that you want to do certain things. And it was hard, it was a struggle, but as time progresses, it has been better and better until completely now. If I sugar, it's gonna taste real bad for me.
yeah, it is bad in the
At
mouth.
this time. Yeah.
I think that is really, really inspiring, and that is something I aim for. Yeah, sometimes I fall off the bandwagon myself, but generally I've been drinking teas now without sugar for a while, herbal teas. I drink a lot of water. I've cut back on a lot of my carbs. You know, a lot of things, and because everything you have to understand at this stage, we have to understand that everything that we put in our system now will affect us either positively or negatively at this stage.
Yes, definitely.
Right? With these crazy hormones, decrease in hormones that we have going on in our systems now. So we have to be mindful, not just putting and eating everything. Everything, we have to look at everything we put in our mouth. So that is very inspiring. Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome.
Anybody else?
Yes. Andra here. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Andrea.
Yes. Thank you for sharing tonight, Miss Maria.
You're
It helped
welcome.
me to understand about this craving during menopause for sugar. I used to feel real guilty because I'm also diabetic, so I used to have this craving. So I'm not so guilty now, but it kind of helped me to understand that how much more I have to, you know, alter certain things so that I wouldn't have these cravings because it real. I
It
do
real.
drink my teas without sugar and stuff, but lately I gone in on honey and it's just as bad. So, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, I have to cut it off. So thank you for sharing. I really appreciate this lecture tonight.
You're welcome, and thanks for putting in your input. Because you know, when we talk, as I always say, when we talk, we help others. Because we see that, you know, it's a struggle that, or a challenge, I would say, it's a challenge that we have at this time, and we can overcome that challenge if we are consistent. So yeah, so we need to share. Anybody else?
I want to share.
This is Dr. Khan's forte, eh? So go ahead, Doctor.
I want to share. I want to share a great win that I found out today from one of our community members. She says after doing our weight loss course, she lost 32 pounds in the last 8 months and is starting to feel amazing. So I wanted to share that for her. I saw her today and she was telling me, give a big high five. I was like, wow.
That's good.
So ladies, everything you learned today, we have it in a 6-month course. That's starting next week. All the anti-inflammatory, the reversing diabetes, everything, right? So come out, join us. I put the link in the chat, but I'm gonna start posting it to our groups, and Maria will send it out to everybody. Starts next week, Tuesday at 8 p.m. The link is there. Sign up, and we will talk about, you know, how to get rid of stubborn weight, low energy, persistent discomfort, and what is underlying inflammation and what are the major culprits and how to reverse them. So everything today we talked about, you're gonna get a program that involves nutrition. So you're getting your nutritionist, your exercise specialist, your supplement recommender, right? You're getting it all. And of course, we have wonderful Maria who's gonna help you navigate those hormonal changes by telling you exactly what to do when, so you can be better off for it. So join us. Anti-inflammatory weight loss starts next week, Tuesday, and get a win like our dear team member, Nicole, who had 32 pounds of weight loss. I am so impressed. And she is so excited.
And it's so good. Good news. So 32 pounds of actually fat in 8 months is really, really, really good. It's not water weight. We're talking about fat loss here. And not muscle wastage, just the fat, the bad fat getting out of your system. That's the deep visceral belly fat we're talking about there. In that. That's good news.
And there is something for everybody to learn. I can guarantee it. There's something we're going to teach you that you didn't think, oh my God, that has an impact. And you'll see the difference. I just want to share that.
So ladies, so we know the cravings there is with sugar, and we know how from tonight, you know, the small changes can be a very big blessing to us later on in life. So let's look at the bonus strategy that I promised. Start your day is I'm giving you what and the things I use. Start my day with a protein-rich breakfast. Think egg, think nut butter, or protein smoothie, which is one of my go-to things in the morning time. A protein smoothie. Sometimes I use sea moss. I used beetroot, bananas, a little piece of banana, a lot of grains like pumpkin seed, sunflower seeds. You know, I have all that in my smoothie. My daughter calls it, Mommy, you're making a bomb there. That's a smoothie bomb, yeah. So you could call it that. And I have that in the morning time, and that fills me for most of the day. And then I have something to eat in the evening along with a snack. And then my exercise, which I have increased this past week here. So all of that helps to decrease the cravings as well. So this sets our blood sugar on a steady path and helps reduce cravings for the whole day. So I want us to remember menopause is a transition, not a downfall. So when with this right knowledge you have, you can regain control of your cravings, regain your energy, and increase your confidence as you feel and look better at this time in your life. So again, from the Healthy Reset from Dr. Khan and myself, ladies, thank you very much for your support, always there for us. And as we continue to give all the knowledge that we can about the different topics we work with, it is very encouraging to help us as we continue. So thank you again, ladies. And a blessed week ahead.
You're welcome. Yeah. Same to you.